Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Hey, the topic for this video came from a friend of mine, James. We had a great discussion a couple days ago, and basically he wanted to know if my skepticism or my atheism conflicted at all with culture in Cambodia, because it is largely based on Buddhist beliefs. So I thought I'd talk about that. And if you like this video, or if you like any of my videos, consider supporting the channel. I'll leave links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com. Near the end of every month, things get a little hairy sometimes, so we could use your help. And if you can and if you want to, your donations are very much appreciated. We always love and appreciate our supporters. And also don't forget that I have books for sale, including my first debut horror novel, Pray for Salvation. You can find that one along with all the rest of my books at the link in the description. And thank you. So, as I said, he wanted to know if there were any conflicting attitudes with the main religion or spiritual path, I guess you could say, of Buddhism here in Cambodia, with my skepticism. And the short answer is no. I don't think there's any conflict at all. And I think the reason people might think that is because they have the wrong idea of what I consider to be true skepticism. You have people out there who take a hardline stance, either one way or the other. There are basically two sides of the same coin, and I think both sides are equally as closed-minded and wrong as the other one. One of those says there are certain things that absolutely 100% do not and cannot ever exist. They take that hardline stance. And then the other side are just willing to believe it based on zero evidence at all, and they just say, yep, it's real because I heard it from a friend or I had an experience, and so therefore it must be 100% real. And I think both of those sides are wrong. Like any other subject or opinion, there's somewhere in the middle is probably the truth. But there's a big difference between disbelief and dismissal. And mine is simply disbelief. I will tell you this. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in Bigfoot. I do not believe in aliens from outer space that have visited the earth. And I do not believe in any God. Out of the 3,000 and some that people worship around the world, I don't believe in any of them. But I personally don't believe in them simply because there is no empirical evidence or proof that those things actually exist. Generally, what people call evidence for these things are largely based on a personal experience or anecdotal experiences from others that they've heard. But that is far from actual concrete evidence and proof of those things happening. So what does that have to do with Cambodia? Well, in case you don't know, you probably do, but Cambodia is 97% Buddhist, and there are a chunk of Islamic and Christian locals as well. But they practice a form of Buddhism here. The main sect, I guess you could call it, the main enlightened path of their particular Buddhism is animistic in nature, which means they do believe in communicating with spirits for guidance and protection. And there is no good traditional Buddhist ceremony that would be complete without bringing some kind of offering, either in the form of food or other kind of alms, to a temple or to the monks, have them do a ceremony and say a blessing. And while the physical alms will stay with the monks, they do believe that spiritually those items, because of this blessing, are basically transferred up to their deceased relatives, and that will help sustain them in the afterlife until they are reincarnated again. That is a very abbreviated Reader's Digest version, and it covers a lot more, I know, Because I know I'll have people in the comments going, I know Buddhism, and that's this very simplistic view. But that's just the things I want to concentrate on for the sake of this video. That's the basic belief. And of course, no, I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe anybody's communicating with spirits to get guidance or protection. No, I don't believe, giving these alms to the monks, that is fine. It also, in their religion, it gives them karma points, so they don't have to wait as long to be reincarnated, And giving to the poor is always a good idea, as long as it's done from the attitude of charity, and not simply because you expect to get something out of it either now or in the future. But no, I don't believe in any of those things, and I don't believe it's a conflict. Because as a skeptic, I don't try to talk anybody from any beliefs at all. People believe in ghosts, that's fine. A recent poll I read just a while ago said that almost something like 51% of Americans say they absolutely believe in ghosts and spirits. Okay, great. So more than half the country of the people, or at least more than half of the people polled said yes. Yes, I do believe in ghosts. And of course, there's a lot of people who will probably say they believe in Bigfoot, and they believe that aliens from and some kind of intelligent life from other planets have visited the Earth in spacecraft and things like that. And I'm not trying to talk anybody out of any of it. As a matter of fact, I have a deep yearning, I guess you can call it, for some of these things to actually be true. I've always loved the idea of Bigfoot. I've always loved the idea of being visited from alien beings from another world, and they come on down here to visit us. I always found that fascinating, and I wish it was true. But my skepticism simply says I don't believe that, because there is no evidence or proof that has happened or will ever happen. Now, should concrete, irrefutable evidence arise for any of those things, I am more than willing to say, okay, now I believe it, because now there is proof that those things exist. So that's where skepticism and my disbelief is different than dismissal, because people who have already dismissed the possibility that these things could actually be real, you aren't going to change their minds no matter how much proof you show them, because they'll find it to be an insult to their opinion, and nobody wants to have their opinion disproved. We see that all the time in politics and everything else. They just hang on to those opinions like life jackets, to a drowning man. But yeah, I'm more than willing. As a matter of fact, I hope. Out of all of those, I think Bigfoot is my favorite. Like, I've always had a fascination. I think it would be one of the greatest scientific discoveries of all time if they actually found a new species of an 8-foot-tall, hairy, bipedal, ape-like creature that is the ultimate hide-and-seek champion of the world, and they finally figured out that these things are true, and they know where they are, and they can prove it. I think that would be fantastic. I don't think I would not even be embarrassed about going, well, I said I didn't believe in them. There would be no embarrassment. I would be happy. I'd really want those to be real. And here in Cambodia, like I said, I'm not trying to talk anybody down from their religion. I think these ceremonies, I've been to them, I participated in them without any form of belief, just because I think they're beautiful. I love the ritualistic tendencies of them. I think it's more of a solid connection to their culture, to their heritage, and of course it keeps them connected to their deceased loved ones. And because of those beliefs, a lot of great things, a lot of the great cultural things that you see in Cambodia is because of those beliefs. Like how they respect their elders, and how the family unit is the most important thing of all here. All those little things that we like about Cambodia, their openness, their willingness to give to anybody, no matter how poor and desperate they might be. All of that is in some form based on the Buddhism that they believe in. They just grew up that way. They believe it's the right thing to do. And so that's just the way they are. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody that practices Buddhism here actually believes 100% in the that these things are actual reality. I think a lot of times it's more like a spiritual acknowledgement about their heritage and about their culture, a way, like I said, to keep connected to their deceased loved ones. And they might not actually believe that these alms they give to the monks are actually being spirited away in invisible form up to their dead loved ones or anything. But that's all right. It's something they practice. It's ingrained in their culture. And the reason I don't feel conflicted at all is the same reason why I didn't feel conflicted when I lived back in the United States and don't believe in a Christian God neither. It's like, hey, if that makes you feel better, you can go ahead and have that. If anybody wants to try to convert me, if they want to try knocking on my door, if they want to try to hardball me into coming to their church, that might be a different issue. Then I have the right to express my opinion and tell them exactly why that's not going to happen. And then we can have a discussion about proof and evidence and how you shouldn't just believe out of faith, which is, believing without evidence. I don't think that's the right way to live. But yeah, I want these things to be true. You won't believe some of the YouTube channels I watch. I'm serious. You know those top 10 ghosts caught on camera kind of videos from Slapped Ham and Nuke's Top 5? Check them out if you haven't. They're great. I absorb them videos. I love watching them videos. I wait for their new uploads. Not because I believe in it. Most of the time you can see through them. Oh, you can just see how fake it is and how put on it is. But sometimes they're very entertaining. And sometimes you see a clip and you go, wow, I don't know how they did that, but that was scary. That was creepy. And I was entertained. And that's really all I want. But yeah, I watch a lot of those. And like I said, I do hope that some of these things are real and can be proven at some point. I'd be more than happy to change my opinion on that, should that ever happen. But currently, there is no proof. And so skepticism says, for me, that I don't believe in those things. And just like here in Cambodia with the Buddhism, I love going to those places. I love watching the ceremonies. I love the history of the Khmer Empire, how it started, and how closely modern-day Cambodians identify with that whole Khmer Empire. I think it's fascinating from an anthropological standpoint. And like I said, this is a country that definitely believes in ghosts, both good spirits and bad spirits. Certain things you should never do because it's going to attract bad spirits, like whistling after dark in public. You should never ever do that, But I respect them, and I respect their tradition, but that doesn't mean I have to believe it or accept it in order to respect it. So that's where I stand on that. And I hope that helps a little bit. All right. So be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, I have PayPal and Ko-fi.com. Check out all the other vlogs that are listed down below to give you more information about this great country. And from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.